To pre-wash or not to pre-wash? We're about to find the answer. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. This channel is all about making sewing and crafts fun and approachable. We are about to tackle a real hot button issue in the crafting community, and that is, should you pre-wash items that you are going to embellish, whether that be with embroidery, whether that be with HTV or heat transfer vinyl. So we're going to do a bit of an experiment. Now, as a sewist, I always kind of lived by the rule that you should pre-wash anything that you plan to launder afterwards, with a few exceptions such as pre-cuts in quilting. As I've mentioned in previous videos, natural fibers like cotton will absolutely shrink in the wash. So that's why, as a general rule, whenever I'm going to be cutting into something I'm going to be sewing that I plan to wash later, I will treat the fabric before I start cutting and sewing. So what I'll do is I usually launder the fabric on the same settings I will when I'm laundering the item later. So in my household, I always do like kind of a gentle cycle, tap cold water, and then I always keep my dryer on low. But I recently learned that many crafters, particularly the ones that are using the heat transfer vinyl and selling these t-shirts, actually do not wash their items before they apply the HTV. So what I have here, I have two 100% cotton t-shirts and two cotton poly blend t-shirts. These are 60% cotton, 40% polyester. And I'm gonna see for myself, does it make a difference if you pre-wash the items versus just slapping on the HTV and doing an embroidery design and then washing the item later? Now, let's be real here. Most of the people who are buying custom shirts or making them for themselves, they're gonna need to wash the item. Like, it's not like you're gonna make the shirt, never wash it, and then everything will be honky-dory. Not really the way it works. So we're gonna put these shirts to a real life test. I'm going to pre-wash one of each, and I'm going to leave one of each unwashed, do the same embroidery designs on the shirts, and also I'm going to apply HTV on the shirts as well. Then I'm going to take all the shirts, wash them 10 times, and we're gonna see what happens, because I'm curious. There was kind of a hot debate going on in one Facebook group. People were like, my shirts are fine, I don't need to wash them. There's also a lot of discussions about using laundry detergent on the items. Maybe people with like sensitive skin or allergies might be affected. There's also the factor of like not being able to sell a brand new item out of the package. But I was curious to see, would these designs really get messed up after laundering them 10 times? Maybe for all you crafters out there that are selling your shirts or gifting them, maybe that would factor into your decision to wash or not wash if these items don't really hold up over time. And because the primary objective of pre-washing the items is to pre-shrink them, I'm actually not going to use any laundry detergent. This will be water-only cycles, and I'm going to run the shirts through my washing machine twice, because I feel like that would get most of the shrinkage out of the way, and then the other shirts, of course, will be totally unwashed, and then afterwards we're gonna wash these 10 times. And if you're wondering about the materials used for the embroidery design, just your basic polyester embroidery thread and no-show mesh stabilizer on all of the shirts. The embroidery design itself is just a simple monogram font with a circle frame. As for the heat transfer vinyl, really nothing fancy. Off-brand HTV I got from Amazon. Here we are a few months later with the results of the experiment, and I was shocked because the opposite of what I predicted was what ended up happening. Going into this, I had a theory that the 100% cotton shirts, there would be a huge difference, and I thought the pre-washed shirt would end up the best. I thought the shrinkage for the not pre-washed shirt would end up affecting the embroidery and the HTV designs, and that's actually not what ended up happening. And the reason it took me so long to finish this video is because it took me a while to go through all of the 10 wash cycles. I threw them into my regular laundry. I actually don't have that much light colored clothing, so I had to wait until I was washing my bed sheets, which are white and blue. I did use detergent for the 10 cycles because that's what you would do in real life. At this point, the pre-washed t-shirts have gone through the laundry for a total of 12 cycles, and the shirts that I did not pre-wash have gone through the laundry a total of 10 times. Let's take a look at the shirts. These are the 100% cotton t-shirts, and to the left is the not pre-washed shirt, and to the right is the shirt that was pre-washed. I was really surprised because the shirt that I did not pre-wash looks significantly better, and I really thought it was going to be the opposite. There is a little bit of puckering, and even after I stitched out the design initially, there was a little bit of puckering around this loop in the J here. Now, my theory is that because the fabric here is sort of trapped within the circle frame, that as the shirt shrunk during the laundry cycles, that ended up sort of helping it because there is actually less puckering on the shirt I didn't pre-wash. Now, compared to the shirt that I did pre-wash, this one has a lot of puckering. So you can see there's puckering around the circle frame, and there's quite a bit of puckering and distortion in the letter J itself, which I thought was interesting, and it kind of makes sense in hindsight because since the shirt had already been pre-shrunk, it couldn't shrink anymore as it went through the laundry cycles, and the fabric that's trapped within this circle frame ends up looking really puffy and really wavy. We'll also take a look at the HTV. Obviously to the left, no pre-wash, right, pre-washed. To be honest, it looks pretty similar. I think the shirt that I didn't pre-wash, there's a little bit of distortion and it's got a little bit of puckering. I don't think it looks significantly different than the shirt I did pre-wash. For the 100% cotton shirts, if I'm going to be working with them in the future, I actually would not pre-wash the shirts, especially not for the embroidery, because look how much better it looks on the shirt that I didn't pre-wash versus the shirt I did. And for the HTV, it doesn't really look significantly better. I would just save yourself the hassle and embellish the shirt as is. Now let's examine the cotton poly t-shirts. Here we are, and to the left is the shirt I did not pre-wash, and on the right is the shirt I did pre-wash. It's a similar story to the 100% cotton shirts. The shirt I didn't pre-wash looks significantly better than the shirt I did pre-wash. And you can see the pre-wash shirt has a lot of puckering. I just think the design looks much more distorted. I mean, look at this. Compared to the shirt on the left, which doesn't look that much different than when I first embroidered it before I ran it through the laundry. My initial prediction was that there wouldn't be as much of a difference between the cotton poly shirts because it's made of partly polyester and polyester does not shrink. So I thought there would be a little bit of a difference, but not much. And I also assumed that the shirt I did pre-wash would end up looking better at the end. And once again, not the case. So sometimes life can surprise you. As for the HTV, it held up pretty well on both shirts. In a strange way, I almost think it looks better on the shirt I did not pre-wash. I see a little bit of lifting on the shirt that I did pre-wash, which kind of surprises me because I thought it would adhere better to the shirt that I pre-washed. Based on these results, I won't be pre-washing my cotton poly shirts if I'm working with them in the future. Now, there are a lot of factors with this little experiment. I did use thinner cotton and cotton poly shirts, so maybe my results would differ if I'm using heavier 100% cotton t-shirts. I don't know, but this was pretty interesting to conduct, and I am just shook by what happened because it was not at all what I expected. Moving forward, I guess I won't be pre-washing my garments before I embellish them with heat transfer vinyl or stitch out an embroidery design. What did you think about this experiment with the t-shirts? Let me know down below in the comments, and if there's any other types of sewing experiments you'd like me to do here at The Sewing Report, let me know that also. Also, be sure to catch some of my other videos here at The Sewing Report. I've got plenty here. I'm Jen with The Sewing Report. I'll see you guys again in the next video. And remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.